So the Cavs obviously, or it feels like to me, they're at a crossroads in some ways, right? You have a situation where the Knicks are flexing their muscles, trying to win a championship. Assuming Tatum and Brown are both healthy and both on the Celtics next year, we know the Celtics are going to be formidable. We know that...
don't forget the Pacers.
I was just about to say, Tyrese Halliburton will be back next year. Pacers went to the finals last year. Obviously, Detroit was good. Maybe they take a step back. I don't know, but they got one of the best players in the league. We know that Orlando's been a feisty team the last few years. The East should be better next year than it was this year. The Cavs have this team. It's an older team. They went all in on some level last year by trading for James Harden, or they sped up their timeline at least by trading for James Harden with Darius Garland. Evan Mobley is their only still, high-level, all-star caliber young player. And they're in the situation where I think we all agree that they cannot win a championship as is. Well, guys, they haven't changed the coach. They haven't changed the GM. Do they have to change at least one star player on this team?
And I want to ask it with this in mind. The report that Giannis, because there was interest at some point, Giannis would not be willing to re-sign long-term. And Cleveland has essentially taken him out of the equation.
Right, it should,
for Cleveland.
I think.
So,
yeah.
To your point with the question, I just want to ask, is 1 year of Mobley or 1 year of Giannis without the guarantee of him re-signing worth the risk to make catastrophic changes to the roster?
Yes.
I don't like the word catastrophic, but
yes.
Yeah.
Or major changes to the roster.
Yeah.
Yes. You're not good enough. I don't know if you got to go to counseling, or I don't know if you got to go to, I don't, in terms of corporate standards, you're not good enough. You put yourself here. This is the trajectory. If you're a general manager and you drafted all these players and you signed, Darius Garland, and then you signed Evan Mobley, and then you drafted those guys, you got Donovan Mitchell. The second you moved from one of those pieces and Darius Garland, who you gave a max deal to, and decided he was not good enough for the opportunity to get to a championship, and you had James Harden, all the rest of it is window shopping, because you made the decision at that point. You can't half step. So just because Giannis says I won't stay here, I won't do it. If you win a championship, you buy yourself some more time, Kobe Altman. You buy yourself a little time to go back and say, hey, okay, well, let's figure it out, tear it down, get back to where we need to go. But the end goal is to get yourself to a championship. With the trajectory of younger teams, the Spurs are better than we thought they were, right? We're not just talking about the East. We talk about the West. The Oklahoma City Thunder are going to have opportunities to make their roster better. If you made the move for Donovan Mitchell, and then you made the move for James Harden, you now are in a position where you are a 1-2 year type conversation, and you're not good enough right now.
Yeah.
So yes, you have to do it. Does it suck? It is the rules of engagement. It's a game you play. At the end of the day, it's about getting the opportunity to play for it all. And without going to get a major upgrade, because Dan Gilbert told us that they were nowhere near where they need to be. So I'm asking a question. How do you get to where you need to be if you're not going to change the general manager, the head coach is back, and your roster is pretty the same?
Yeah. Now, when the Cavs traded for Donovan Mitchell, he didn't have 1 year left on his contract, right? Didn't he have 2?
Well, it's pretty much the same situation. Giannis is a player option that he's going to decline.
Okay.
Donovan had, I guess Donovan did have 2 years when they traded for him.
Now, but we didn't think Donovan was going to re-sign, and he did. Maybe,
yes.
But don't you have to do this anyway? Even if you don't think you can re-sign him, even if you're not sure?
No, I don't think because you did it for Donovan, you do it now. I would disagree with that.
Okay, why?
Because I think the franchise was in a completely different place, where they had this they had a bunch of young pieces and they needed something to tie it all together back at that point, and that's what Donovan did. And the best player that they gave up in that deal was not now. Larry Markkanen's turned into a tremendous player,
right?
And he was pretty good that 1 year he was here, but he wasn't on the level of where when you're giving up Evan Mobley, you're giving up a massive piece of your franchise, and draft picks have become gold in this new era of
aprons and caps and everything else.
Yeah.
Like, we don't need to get into all of the specifics. Teams covet draft picks now more than ever. And I know people like roll their eyes at that.
Yeah.
It's the best way to roster build in this weird era that we're
But
in.
you can't win any other way.
But the Cavs don't control any of their picks for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
And I think that is a big fear with where they're at right now, because their 27 pick they traded away. The 28 pick, the Hawks sold the swap rights from the DeAndre Hunter trade.
Right.
That was a fail.
Yeah.
The Hunter trade was a fail.
Right.
So now the Hawks hold their swap rights on 28. They don't control 28. They don't control 29. So if you go all in on this and then you lose Giannis after a year, you've got a mess on your hands, and you have no picks to start a rebuild all over again.
But you won't anyway. Like, what do you? So what's the alternative here?
The alternative, well,
Because they can't win as is. We know that.
but why does it have to be Evan? Like, there's other moves that you can make.
Then you trade. You got to either trade Evan or Donovan. That's the only option.
Well, I still think you trade Jared.
But you're not getting. What are you getting for Jared?
Maybe LeBron. I don't know. I don't know.
But Jason,
I don't know. But I'm just saying,
You
like,
can't win. LeBron's not good enough at this point. Is he?
Everybody's pounding the table. If it's got to be Evan, it's got to be Evan. Well, that's
Yeah.
like the biggest bullet in your gun. So I would just be very cautious on that. Now, having said all of that, and I don't think this is going to happen. I don't think this is going to happen. I don't think this is going to happen, because I'm going to get clipped that I'm saying this is going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to happen. If Donovan goes to them and says, either you get me Giannis or I am not re-signing here, then they will make that deal.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's going to do that. So if Donovan goes to you and says,
Yeah.
I want Evan here, I think we can win with Evan, you could trade him?
Yes.
Yeah. If I think
You can't. We already know they can't.
But if Donovan believes they can, are you still going to trade him?
I mean,
here's what I'll say. Here's what I'll say. If this is the worst case scenario,
yeah.
if you run what you think you're gonna run back, I'm gonna tell you right now, the Cavs could lose in the first round next year.
100%.
Well, I don't think they're good enough to win a championship right now.
Can't
I
win.
don't think that
they
could
can't
lose
win
it, but
with
I
Is there another player they could get besides Giannis that's better than Donovan Mitchell? Probably not.
Not
right?
without giving up Evan, more than likely.
But why would we be hesitant to give up Evan for a player better than Donovan Mitchell?
Because he's under control for the next
But
however many years.
What's the difference? They're not going to win anything.
But you have to. There's a balance that you have to strike.
Yeah.
And when back in the day, long
Yeah.
time ago, Dan used to tell people all the time, I don't care about a plan B. If you worry about a plan B, it takes away from plan A. We are going.
That's right.
Their slogan was all in.
Yeah.
And where it got them was LeBron walked out the door, and the organization was an absolute disaster for a number of years. And I think that they fear having to go down that road again.
But it's going to. I think they're going to stink anyway after next year.
If you look at this, I'm going to be honest with you, man. They've proven that they're not better than the best teams at every. When the Pacers was at full strength, they're not better. When they're better, when the Celtics, listen. If the worst thing that can happen is you lose in the first or second round next year, James Harden is a year older.
Yeah.
Donovan Mitchell is a year older. Evan Mobley still is Evan Mobley with no growth.
And Giannis, listen, it's a risk because Giannis has been so injury
risk.
prone.
Yes.
But they would have a chance to win a championship with Giannis.
And
they don't without him.
I'm not advocating running it back.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
But did the Knicks make massive changes from last year to this
The
year?
Knicks made no changes to their roster.
But the Knicks, you know what they did do? They said, we're changing our head coach. And the Cavs have decided that they're not going to change their head coach. The thing is, the Knicks were like, we feel we have a good roster. We feel the coach isn't the right guy.
Yeah.
So we're going to make a tweak with the coach to see if we can get him over the hump. And it worked.
They did get Bridges. Wasn't it his first year?
No, they traded for him like 3 years ago.
Yeah, he's been there for a while.
They literally made the roster is exactly the same. All they did was change a coach.
And we would have said, and again, I'm
But
not advocating.
the Knicks had already got the Knicks. The Cavs had.
The Knicks went to the same spot the Cavs were at. They were in the conference finals
Right.
last year.
Yeah.
And didn't even change
But in less years than it took the Cavs to get there.
I don't know. Maybe by one. They played the Knicks have always been a step ahead of the Cavs from the time that they beat them in the first round.
The Knicks have been better
I'm
than the Cavs.
just saying, if we had been doing this show in New York last year, we'd have been sitting here screaming, this roster's not good enough. It's not good enough. They got to make changes.
You may be right.
And I just would caution. I just think people are getting real flippant with trade Evan. I'm like, okay.
But Jason,
Was
what is
that-
Evan?
Tomorrow, Jason,
Yeah.
you're on the show, and
Yeah.
so are you, Bull. We're going over trades that don't involve
I
Evan
just don't
Mobley that can
understand-
shake up the roster.
I
So that's
just don't
coming tomorrow.
understand. I feel like you
It's
have to. You can't win. Jalen Brunson's a better player than Donovan Mitchell, is he not?
At this point,
I
you
mean,
have
I
to
would
say
take
yes.
I would take Brunson over.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, but like on some level, you're right because the Knicks didn't make any changes last year besides coach, but the Knicks have overall been a much better playoff team than the Cavs have been over these last few years.
I am not
much better.
I am not sitting here saying run it back. That's
Yeah.
not what I'm saying. I'm sitting here saying if you want to trade Evan for 1 year of Giannis at age 31 with all the injuries that he's had, good luck. And Giannis makes them better.
Yeah.
Giannis makes them better. But are they appreciably better enough to where that's going to put them over the top?
I think it could.
Maybe.
I think if Giannis is healthy, it could. I think
And
that's their only chance to win a championship the next 5 years.
And that's why this is like a health, because I think both sides could be right.
And maybe you talk him into signing.
Well,
Maybe.
I just think they penciled themselves in when they got James Harden.
That's right.
They cornered
They are
themselves.
not in a great spot right now.
no, bad
regardless.
spot. They're in a bad spot.